So you don't have time to consume an entire podcast, that's okay. Enjoy the highlights on TRS Clips. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon. I have a friend, he's a mentor to me. His name is Zakir Khan. He's a stand-up comic, but he's a writer, he's a poet. And there's so many things he's said to me. I mentioned him so much on the show. I have to share this one anecdote. Okay, so he had welcomed me to his new place. Amazing, beautiful. It was his dream house. Great energy, all that. And we were talking about life in general because even we know each other now for 5-6 years. And he said that he's gone through a phase of seeing a lower middle class life. He has relatives who've basically lived in slums. He's seen all kind of layers of society through his life. And he's like, at the layer we are at as artists, we tweet and we get paid. We put an Instagram post and we get paid. We write something on a piece of paper and we get paid for that. Right. So this, I don't even know if you can perceive this as hard work. And it kind of makes me think about the life of an artist weirdly. We're the kids that survived. Fortunately, the art that's popping inside our heart is what the world finds as what the world thinks of as mainstream. So we're really lucky to be artists. And people have this outlook on being an artist that, fancy, glamorous life. But there's a lot of shit you deal with to constantly put that art out as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way about, say, something like Cold Mess, which I feel looking from the outside in, it was sort of a pivotal point in your journey.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It changed a lot of your trajectory, but you were a musician even before that. And one fine day, Cold Mess just pops in your head, you hear a tune, you develop it over time, and things completely change for you. How do you look at this whole situation?
I agree with a lot of what you were saying about how Zakir puts it. I've lived through the indie music industry, right? And it's small, and I've seen successes, but I've also seen a lot of failures. And I think people don't see a lot of that,
Publicly, they don't.
Publicly from the outside, and people don't actually notice failures that much. And there's something to learn from that also, in that sense, that what went wrong, right? What happened? Because I know so many talented musicians in the indie scene who, over a 10-year period, didn't really get anywhere, right? And then when you meet them and see them, you see it's not just about the art, it's also about the attitude, about what they're putting behind, everything that they're doing, the legwork, literally, right? And one thing that I feel, which I don't know, I really feel strongly about this. I feel it's you, at some level, you get what you want in life, A lot of people just don't want it. Strangely enough, you would think outside in that any musician in a certain capacity would want mainstream success, but there's so many people who don't want it, or they're deluding themselves to think that they don't want it because they're too scared of not getting it. That's another thing, So it's psychologies of people, as I've met them over the years, has been very interesting to see. And that's kind of the loosely the connection between the creative aspect and the mainstream success. There's very few people who go that side because it's really hard and it needs a lot more other than the creative side. And thirdly, you need to keep that creative side alive. It's very important, because if you lose that, then you can do all that other legwork and it wouldn't matter, because you got to keep compartmentalize and keep yourself a bit of an artist, but at the same time do these other things which a bit more capitalistic in nature, maybe.
Yeah. I think that aspect of capitalism that you're speaking about is constantly keeping at it, doing one thing after another, not just putting out one great piece of art, but moving on to the next one.
Correct.
Is that what you did, dude? Because you broke out of that scene. So, I mean, you're the breakout guy, and that's how a lot of people look at you. I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot, man. I know this is not a vibe for you, but I'd want to know what you did right.
I think I don't feel like I've fully broken. I think I have a long way to go still. I definitely maxed out the indie scene for sure, which in terms of just it's how much it has to offer commercially. We're talking very bluntly straight terms right now. But how I did it, I think it's what I said. I wanted it. I wanted it. There's a lot of people, my peers, friends of mine in the indie scene who I've worked with over the years, who we've had conversation, and it's very creatively fulfilling, but at some level there was always this kind of disdain for mainstream, and I was just why? You can have mainstream success and make really good work. Why is there this narrative that those two things are mutually not compatible. So I always like have had that philosophy that I am going to do well and I'm going to make amazing art,